Have you been struggling to achieve the results you really want to get from your drawing? Do you sometimes start a drawing, it seems to go well, but then somewhere along the way it breaks down and you finish up with a result that leaves you feeling disappointed and frustrated? Sometimes people will try something new at exactly the wrong time and make a mess of a great drawing that was going really well. But don't you worry. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what's going on, and I'm going to give you some great advice that's going to help you avoid that trap in the future. But first, I just want to ask a favour. Please hit the like button and watch all the video. That really helps me to get this video in front of more people so I can help them. Now in a minute, I'm going to share with you some strategies that you can use to help you get a better result from your drawings. But first, I have to share a story just to set the scene. I always enjoyed drawing portraits. But as you may well be aware, drawing portraits can be one of the hardest things to do. When I first started out, I found it really difficult to get a likeness. I would try to draw a person and I couldn't make the drawing look anything like them. And I couldn't figure out why. In my drawing, the proportions were all wrong. Sometimes I would start a drawing too big and I would run out of room, so I would end up with weird cropping, cutting the edge off something or squashing something in to make it fit. These were all mistakes that arose because I made a mistake at the very beginning that I couldn't see and I couldn't understand, and I kept drawing until it was way too late. My finished drawings didn't look good and I was always frustrated. I always felt bad because I wasn't getting a good result, not the result that I wanted, not the result I could see in my mind. Now here's what I did. I started working in sequences. I would draw one person many times in a row. I would draw them again and again and again. I worked in these sequences, and this was a type of research. I would get to know that person. Slowly and surely, I got to know their proportions. I got to know their features. And eventually, I was able to start drawing them quite well. I was able to get a good likeness, get all the proportions where I wanted them, and I could get the whole drawing to fit on the page without any problems. That was research drawing. As I got better at drawing, then I started more experimental work. Then I started to play with things to see how I could make it stronger. What would happen if I added more contrast? What would happen if I made the drawing darker? What would happen if I made it lighter? I tried these experimental things so that I could see what would happen if I did different types of things. I used different mediums, different techniques, and I learned. Then eventually, I wanted to start making drawings that were different to my reference photos or the people that I had in front of me. I learned to start making small, quick sketches so I could move things around in my drawing. I could see, just by putting some basic shapes on the paper, how they would look next to each other. I could add some simple values just to get a picture. And now, all of a sudden, I had the ability to do some planning drawings. Finally, I was able to pull everything together that I had researched, experimented and planned, and then I was able to finally make some great finished drawings that I was proud of. Now, it took me years to figure all this stuff out. I had to learn it the hard way by trial and error, but I'm going to share it all with you over the course of this video. And what I learned is that there are 4 categories of drawing. I'm going to share with you what each one of those is, what you will use it for, and then I'm going to give you some great strategies that you can use going forward to get you drawing the way you want to draw and give you the results that you want to see. Sound good? Well, stick around. The 4 categories are: number 1, experimental; number 2, research; number 3 is planning; and number 4 is your finished drawing. Now I'm going to quickly go through this and give you a brief explanation of what these are, and then we're going to get to the juicy bit. An experimental drawing is the kind of drawing where you just have fun. You play with making marks, you try a new medium, you mix 2 things together that you've never tried before. You just explore what can be done, and if it goes horribly wrong, it doesn't matter because it's just an experiment and you're not going to ruin anything. Often when people are doodling, that's a kind of experiment. They're just making marks and seeing what comes out. Research drawing is where you sit down to actually learn something about a subject or a topic or even a technique or a medium. It's research. You're trying things out, but not so much in an experimental way. You're just exploring what can be done with what you already know and with what you've already got. For example, I like to come out here into nature and I like to draw out here because that gives me so much more depth, and I can explore the depth and the values and the perspective out here in the real world instead of just working from photos. And I get better at it by just continuously doing it, and that's research. I just keep trying it again and again, and gradually I can refine it and get better. A planning drawing is where you sit down and you deliberately try to figure something out. Now this is different to research and it's different to experiment because you're deliberately sitting down and moving your composition around, you're trying shapes, you're trying values, and you're just seeing what will work before you jump into a finished drawing. A lot of people will do something called a thumbnail sketch. And a thumbnail sketch is the ideal way to sit down and help plan a larger finished drawing. You can do half a dozen drawings on a single page and try them all out next to each other and then see which one you like best and go from there. Then finally you've got the finished drawing. Experimenting helps you figure out what you wanted to do. Research helps you get to know your topic. Planning helps you figure out what you want to put on the page. Now is not the time to do anything crazy. Now is the time to sit down and use the skills that you already have that are in your control and well within your capabilities. Now is the time for you to use the skills that you have. Don't go off on a limb here and try some crazy experiment with your finished drawing. Settle in with what you know, with what you've gotten good at, and turn out a great drawing and you'll be proud and happy with it. And then if you want to try it again as an experiment, go ahead. Those are the 4 main types of drawing. Now we get to the part where I promised to help you do a better job with your drawings. So let's go. In the story I told you before, the number 1 mistake that I made was having no plan. I didn't have a goal for my drawing. I didn't know why I was doing it. I just wanted to do a drawing. And that's the number 1 thing that you can do right now to get better at drawing, is you can have a plan. What is it that you want to say? What's the story that you're trying to tell? Think about that. And then go to work with your experiment, your research, your plans, and when you're ready, do your finished drawing. And you will see a tremendous difference in your output. You will be amazed by the difference this will make to you. Now just one more final note on the 4 types of drawing. Just because there are 4 types of drawing, it doesn't mean you're only ever going to do one of them at a time. It's very common to combine experimenting, research and planning all into some drawings together. Sometimes I will experiment and research at the same time. Sometimes I will plan and research at the same time. And there can be any combination of these 3 drawings. The only rule that I have is that in the finished drawing, I stick to what I know and I do a good job of it. On the day that it counts, it's not the time to try something new. That's the time to use the skills that you have embedded through hours of practice and you'll get the result that you're looking for. Now, if you found this video helpful, why don't you go visit justindwyer.art. That's my website and I have a lot of great resources there for people who are on the beginning part of their drawing journey. Go there, check it out, and I promise you won't be disappointed. You'll also find access there to my Ultimate Beginner's Drawing course. Go there, check it out. It's just built specifically to help you learn to draw. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. See you later. Bye-bye.